time to tip the scales.
All right, what's up, brothers? Today we're going to be doing something, I'm not going to say it's a controversial thing to do, but I'm going to be making a predictive tier list for Season 5.5. We already have the patch notes, and we've seen the rogue gameplay at this point, so I'm just going to let you guys know what I think is going to be basically what's played the most and what's the best on this next upcoming patch, just so maybe when the season starts you have a pretty good idea of what you're doing. This is what I thought the tier list looked like in Season 5. I'm not going to say this is the most agreed upon tier list. There might be a couple characters like B and C. Like people probably think BP is in the D tier, right? But just me personally, I don't think that's the case. Anyway, if you think, like, for example, Magic is a B tier character and I move Magic down to the B tier, just imagine yourself moving her to the C tier if we have differing opinions like that. With that being said, I want to start the video off with characters that are actively getting changed. So Gambit, Invis, and Rocket, their ult charge requirement is going up. I'm of the opinion that this is not going to change very much. There is one support. There's two really big support changes that are upcoming. I don't think these characters are going to be dethroned too heavily. I think, we're just going to spoil the video. Luna Snow is going to be absolutely absurd. I still think they're going to be 2 and 3. They were 1 and 2. I think they're going to be 2 and 3 now. I don't think the other changes to the patch are going to be too huge. Let's see. And I'm keeping Rocket in the S tier. Phoenix is getting buffed, but we'll go over why I don't think that's that important later. Loki. Now this is interesting. I'm not a Loki player, but they're increasing the doppelganger damage and healing ratio from 80 to 90%. I'm not a Loki player, but I know this is a pretty big change. This change is pretty much what put Loki from genuinely broken to like a C tier hero for the longest time. So they're undoing about half of it. I think it's nice. I think the Loki fanatics, which I thought there would be more, but I never ever see Loki. He might even be weaker than B tier. I don't think a character with rune it could be C tier, but that's just my opinion. Realistically, I don't think with all the other support changes and one other one that we're going to get into right now, I don't think Loki is going to move from the B tier. Moon Knight isn't getting touched. Yeah, dude, I'm going to keep Loki in the B tier personally. Moon Knight might be an A tier hero, but he's popular like an S tier. Ultron, you guys. All right, we'll go over Luna real quick. I'm sorry. So they're making Luna's right click come out faster, and she's getting a whole new ability. She gains healing boost, damage boost, and heals 10% to the ally. Yeah, dude. That's just great. That's just great. This character was mediocre for one patch, and now she's gonna be absolutely obscene again. Luna is not going to be banned ever in your guys' games. If you've been delaying putting off Luna, I don't know why. Just start playing her, dude. The character is going to be absolutely obscene. The only difficult part about her is positioning, and I aim to an extent, I guess. But Luna's going to be ridiculous. She did not need a whole new ability. Like, Ben is like a C tier hero, and they gave him a new ability. Luna was an A tier. With one change, she could be S tier, and they like increase her ult like back up to the 12 seconds or something, which is still insane. That I don't want them to do that, but yeah, I would say this is better for her, getting a new ability, a little bit added complexity as opposed to just making the ult what it used to be. So yeah, this character is gonna be obscene. Ultron, you guys. He's getting a second drone. When he uses his right click, he gains health. Target ally that's still there, but now they're getting 20% movement speed and a 10% damage boost. He can have 2 drones, and his ult charge is going up. So this is negligible because he has 2 drones. Yeah, Ultron's gonna be insane. You are not going to see a ton of, how do I say this, like double support Ultron. Maybe you will. Maybe the healing's enough at this point, but you're probably not going to see a bunch of double support Ultrons. But whenever you have an Ultron hover, or whenever a DPS just goes 0-3 and they switch to Ultron, it's going to be pretty noticeable. The character is going to be pretty good. I think he's going to be pretty popular. A lot of people seem to like playing Ultron, and he just, was too weak. But I think Ultron is going to be a pretty dominant force this upcoming season. These tiers are ordered, by the way. Wrong tab. Blade. This is nice. This is really nice. The reduced healing. I don't think it's gonna make him a B tier though. I just think Blade is just a wet fart of a character. I don't think that his ancestral sword does enough damage. I don't think giving it an extra 2 damage is gonna do enough personally. I think Blade is gonna stay comfortably in that C tier. I think of all the changes of the heroes I'm not gonna move, Blade is the biggest one where we could maybe move him up to a B tier, but I don't think the character is good at all. Psylocke. So this character is absolutely dominant. They are increasing the energy cost from her ult by 6,000. So that is a lot more than these guys are getting. 2,000, 3,000 here, and 3,000 here. But let me just be honest really quick. That's not going to do anything. The character is still crazy, even when she's not ulting. Her ult is still absolutely crazy, and their ult charges are going up. So this is, realistically, her ult charge went up by about 3,000. If we're being so for real, because their ult charges all went up by 3,000, or my bad, 2,000, 2,000, 3,000, 3,000. Like, character's gonna still be crazy. She's losing the Emma Frost team up though, but gaining a cloak and dagger one, it's gonna be worse. I still think the character is gonna be in this top tier. Maybe no, I'm not even gonna play with it. Maybe you move her down to an S tier. No, dude, this character's still gonna be insane. Jean Grey, her ultimate, the health of the Phoenix is going up by 100. So let's see one above. This will matter a little bit because your teammates are going to look at the Phoenix for a little bit longer. But guys, like, there are very few lobbies in GM, and I guarantee there's none in Diamond and below, where people will actually shoot the Phoenix ult. They hear Phoenix ult, and they just accept it. Oh, the ult's coming. They just accept it. Even if they have a rocket ult out, none of them are going to look at the Phoenix ult. So, for the vast majority, for the 98% of people, this isn't going to change anything. For the top 2%, I still think Jean Grey was a top of A tier character. Maybe this puts her in the bottom of S tier, but I don't think so. I think she's going to stay in the top of A tier, and the change is going to go unnoticed for 98% of the player base. Wolverine, they're letting us cast his ult on a wall. I don't think this changes anything about how good the character is. Maybe there's some implications and some new, cool new ways the ult can get used, but I don't think this is going to change much. I think Wolverine's going to stay in the A tier, and yeah, I think he's going to stay in the A tier. It might be a little bit fun, though. Punisher. So he's getting an extra 1 damage on his primary. I ran the numbers. When you're shooting a 200 or 275 HP hero, it means you have to land 1 less bullet. Now, do I think that that is significant? I mean, it is a breakpoint change, right? So it is significant in that sense, but do I think it's significant in the sense we're going to move him up to the S tier with all the other healing that's going on this patch? Luna Snow, Snowflake, Ultron has 2 drones. Do I really think that Punisher is going to move up a tier? Me personally, no. Daredevil, I don't even know why they... Why bother? Why bother? This character is just... He's not moving. Human Torch. So they're making him a little bit more of like a close range flyer. They're reducing the spread, right? I love Human Torch, so... let's see, yeah. Reduce the charge speed, increase the damage, the fall off is more. And increase single cast projectile damage from 5 to 5.5, which is his primary, and they're slightly reducing the spread. So he's going to be a little bit better close range, a little bit worse further range with the primary. Ooh. So I was going to move him up to the A tier. I think this is a pretty good change. Most people are calling it a change. I think it's a buff, personally. With how good Ultron's going to be and Rogue, I mean, we'll get that out of the way later. With how good Ultron's going to be, how often you're going to see Ultron. Ultron could be an A tier character and people are still going to play him a ton. Just because you go 0-3 in DPS and you go, oh, I don't want my teammates to flame me. Let me switch to a healer. So they're going to play Ultron, right? There's going to be a lot of Ultron. Human Torch is not going to be getting banned very often, especially at the start of the season. I think Human Torch is going to be a dominant force this season. This is going to be, you guys are going to get Human Torch videos. It's going to be fun for me. I think Torch is going to be really, really good. With the Ultron change in mind, Rogue being a melee character getting added, she's going to be dominant, and the Torch buffs, I'm going to move up to the S tier, considering everything else going on in the patch. Scarlet Witch, I mean, dude, that's nice. Like, they can make all these changes they want, but it's not going to change anything for the vast majority of players. It's not going to change anything. Penny Parker, they're reducing her health. Me personally, I still think she's going to be good when she's good, bad when she's bad. The players that are good at her are still going to be good at her. I don't think anything realistically is going to change for Penny. She is going to be noticeably less tanky, though. 50 HP is, like, honestly a decent amount, but I don't see her moving. I don't see people playing her less or playing her more. They're definitely not going to play her more with the nerfs, right, and the new tank. She might be one of the characters that Rogue actually can't take an ability from. Anyway, I'm sorry, you guys. Emma Frost. So they're reducing her health by 50, but they're giving her a new team up with the character that's going to be probably the best in the game and no one's ever going to ban because people don't ban support. So Emma's staying in the genuinely broken tier. Thor, they're making it so during his shift, he can actually move around. Kidnaps might be a little bit better, and Thor's definitely going to be more fun. I don't think he's going to move up a tier. Ben Grimm. 10 extra 2% of the enemy's max health, and this is nice. The anti-mobility thing, 3 to 5, that's pretty nice, but thing's still going to be played when he, you know, it's domination and they're playing like a strange Emma or like something brawly and you want to kind of beat them in the brawl, you're going to play Thing. Or if they're playing BP and dive in your backline and your invis doesn't know what she's doing, even though they made the character. I get flamed. I think it's the most like comment on one of these videos, dude.
Time.
Listen, Invis was a 4-star difficulty hero. She isn't anymore. Just my opinion. With the shield change, she's a 3-star now. This character is easy now. I'm willing to falter only because they gave her the self shield. Yeah, if you're still dying as Invis, the BP without them burning an ult, I think there's an issue. That being said, Ben isn't moving. And those are all the changes. We're going to go over Rogue really quickly. Obviously, I haven't gotten my hands on her as much as I'm going to refrain from saying what I was saying. Rogue is going to be really, really ridiculous. It's a new popular hero getting added to Marvel Rivals. She can steal people's abilities, and she's taking the best abilities from everyone. A lot of the times, how do I say this? With these like doppelganger characters, Loki's a perfect example. Everyone's like, okay, you need to know how to play every character, and then you can play Loki effectively. Let's be so for real. 95% of the time, it is the best choice to take your Invis or Luna ult as Loki. Loki's best friend, Luna, is actually getting a buff this patch, and neither of them are going to get banned, so maybe you can argue Loki at... Ooh. I'm not a Loki player. I didn't think about the Luna. So Loki going to be an A tier. But with these current heroes, I'm going to keep him in the B tier. What I was saying was 95% of the time it's best for you as Loki to take your enemy supports kit. Rogue, it's going to be... I'm not going to say it's going to be. We don't know the abilities that she's going to take from a ton of people. Like Hawkeye, Black Widow, Punisher, and Penny Parker. She probably can't take any abilities from them, right? They're humans. Iron Man, she can't take anything from them, realistically. I know, she could take Hawkeye's, like, aim. What? That's not going to get implemented, bro. She can take Punisher's turret. That's an equipment. I don't think that's going to get implemented in any serious fashion. Most of the time, most of the time Rogue is going to be taking the enemy tank's abilities. So we already saw a lot of them, and she's taking the best abilities from these characters. She's getting Emma's Shift, Strange's Shield, Groot's Wall. We don't know what she's getting off Mag, Venom, Angela, Cap. Cap, I mean, what does she get? Endurance? She can shift around, maybe. I don't know, dude. But Venom, she's either getting a swing, a dive, so she's getting more mobility options, or a shield. So that's just going to be awesome. Angela, I don't know what she's getting. Mag, she's probably going to get the shift. Yeah, she's taking the best abilities from Emma Frost, who's, I mean, she's probably going to be banned this patch. I think Rogue is going to be absolutely crazy. She's getting Thor Force, dude. She's probably getting Ben's Shift. I think this character is going to be absolutely ridiculous. In the trailer, it's not like a great example of how good Rogue is going to be, but just from what I've seen and from what Gambit has shown us, I think Rogue is going to be genuinely broken. S tier minimum. I think Rogue's going to be crazy. She's going to be a little hard to pick up, but... All right, so those are all the those are all the characters I got changes. Do I think anyone will move because of the new characters that got buffed or nerfed? Angela might be a little bit better because it's pretty easy to like just block the Luna right click and then shift her off the map, and Ultron's going to be popular, and Angela's pretty good at combating Ultron. You might see a little bit more Angela. She might be genuinely broken. I'm not going to move her up, though. I think these characters are just in a league of their own, me personally. Rogue. Yeah, guys, I think this is a pretty good predictive tier list. This is just what I personally think. Yeah, I'm going to go with this. This is my final answer. I think the only ones that might change is Angela up to genuinely broken and Loki in the A tier. I think that's it. I don't see anything else changing. Yeah, I'm confident with this. Let me know what you guys think of my tier list in the comments. You guys obviously hate it, so you already wrote 2 paragraphs. So just, finish the other 2 and just submit it to me. Yeah, I think Thor will be more fun. I'm looking forward to playing a little bit more Thor, but he's still going to be bad in ranked. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. If you guys are excited, let me know in the comment section below. Obviously you are. You watch a predictive tier list video. If you guys want to see any characters coming into the new patch, let me know. We're definitely getting a Human Torch video. But other than that, I don't have anything planned. Hope you guys are having a good day. Stay safe. I will see you all next time. Peace out.